I cry when I'm mad, not when I'm sad. And that was something that was confusing me because I was going through a period of time where I was crying a lot. And I didn't know why I was crying. And I thought it meant I was not doing good things with my life and I should go backwards. But it was from anger. And that was because as a child, it was not safe to be angry around my mom. So I cried. And that was safe to do. The exercise I was going to tell you about was, I basically was diagnosed, I always laugh because I'm uncomfortable, but with like PTSD, that's a big word to use. But in my instance, it was about not being able to feel pain. So I was just telling my friend about this morning, but when you like hear a lot of loud music, sometimes you can't hear as well afterwards because your body adapts and you don't have as great of hearing. And I think for me, I saw a lot of like unseeable things as a kid. So I probably cannot feel pain like normal people can or couldn't because it was not useful for me to feel pain. So that might explain why I ran so well. Or like when people are like mad at me, historically, I don't react like I perceive normal people would. I can just handle it. So the exercise I was given was so simple and so cool, which was just to, I'm not a great artist, like a fine artist. So this works for people who are not fine artists, to draw my feelings with the opposite hand. So I'm left-handed, so I drew with my right hand my emotions. So sadness, happiness, anything, anger. And it's not about what you're drawing. It's the act of drawing opens up your feelings channels. It doesn't matter what you draw. And because I'm not a great artist, it's not an intellectual side of my brain, it's a feeling side. And it really worked. And I started to feel.
So when you're drawing that emotion, it conjures the emotion, the act of trying to characterize it?
It's more like lifting weights where it opens up pathways to be able to feel the emotions. It might conjure the emotion, but it also like will open the pathways more permanently so that you can feel again. I think it's like lifting weights. Like it's an exercise that you don't have to like think about it while you're doing it. Just by doing it, you will create that. And so I started to feel, and that was really hard because then I was feeling things from the past that I never felt. And that was really uncomfortable because then you're like feeling all this stuff that you didn't feel, which maybe helped you in some ways and limited you in others. And so my mental health journey is like something that I'm definitely not like sharing a ton about because I'm just like, I'm in it. And the newest thing that I'm trying to do is be more okay, like with myself. So like just trying to like spend more time alone weirdly. And there's just so much. So I see her a lot and she's trying to help me be less confused.
Is that exercise part of how you discovered that tears were associated with anger and not sadness?
No, she noticed that. So she's a very good doctor. And in our sessions, she would talk to me about things and I would cry. And she would ask me like, what are you feeling right now? And she would help me get to the point where it was like, no, I'm actually angry. And what's heartbreaking sometimes for people, or for me, I should just speak for myself, about anger, is that you can be really angry at something and still understand it at the same time. So like my dad not telling me how my mom died and how he raised us, I love him, but there were things he left out emotionally that I understand so much now. I wrote a whole book as like almost a love letter to him. But there's also some anger about like, that would have helped. Like it would have helped to talk about that stuff then. So that's the kind of anger where it's like they exist with understanding. But if you don't ever feel it, I guess maybe it just stays inside of you. She talks about like anxiety, and it helps me because she says like, when we feel anxiety, because we all feel it and it's supposed to actually like save our life if like a car's coming or something, we're supposed to ask two questions. Is this a real threat or not? So a real threat is there a bear about to eat me? And if it's not a real threat, then she says that it's an unfelt feeling and that those are the feelings that you work on in therapy. And the more unfelt feelings you have, the more debilitating your anxiety might be when there's not an actual real threat.